In the latest episode of House of the Dragon titled Small Folk, the whole idea of Dragonseeds and their ability to claim dragons was tested, and in it we saw the first unfortunate casualty in the trial, which would later become known as the sowing of the seeds, or the red sowing, due to the many deaths of the people trying to claim the unclaimed dragons in Dragonstone. We also saw later in the episode that Seasmoke, after burning Darkland to a crisp, decided to fly to Driftmark and choose Addam of Hull as his new rider. So here in this video we will dive deep into dragon lore of A Song of Ice and Fire and reason out how Addam was able to bond with Seasmoke, also his lineage and all of that. So let's get to it. To get to the bottom of it all, we have to start from the beginning. It all started in Valyria thousands of years ago when the shepherds there found dragon eggs in a land known as the 14 Flames. How they managed to hatch them or bond with the dragons is still not detailed out for us, but we can speculate that they were taught the art by an even more ancient people hailing from Ashai in the Shadowlands. The Ashai people were sorcerers of all sorts of magic, and they would have been the ones that performed or taught the Valyrians the blood rites in order to tie in their bloodline with the dragons, thus forming a people known as the Dragon Lords, the ones which would later form blood bonds with dragons. And it wasn't just the people too, the dragons themselves also shared that blood bond. The Targaryens hailing from ancient Valyria escaped the doom and migrated to Dragonstone in 114 BC and would become the only surviving Dragon Lord family, and their specific dragon breeds would be only able to bond with people having Targaryen blood in them, which is like a built-in compatibility blood software program. So as per the books and the series, the Targaryens, or those with the dragon blood of the Targaryens in their veins, are the only ones that can bond with a dragon. Now, can Valyrians bond with dragons? Well, this is a not so tricky question to answer. A pure-blooded Valyrian, or one that married with other houses, don't have that ability. Because even though Valyrians were an ancient house that came from the ancient Valyrian freehold, along with the Targaryens and the Celtigars, they were more of a seafaring people that made their fortunes in the sea trade and were never dragon lords themselves. But after the conquest of Westeros, they would intermarry with the Targaryen family members and bring forth individuals with a Valyrian last name having the ability to ride dragons, just like Laenor and Laena, and even the very strong Lucerys, Jacaerys and Joffrey Valyrian sons of Rhaenyra. Now we come to the crux of the topic, and that is, why did Seasmoke choose Addam of Hull as his new rider when Addam was neither a Targaryen nor a Valyrian with Targaryen blood? He was a simple bastard of Driftmark, right? Or is there something more than what meets the eye? We will explain everything in detail, but first we have to address one unspoken fact here, and that is, Laenor Velaryon had died by episode 4 when Seasmoke was shown to be agitated and flying around in Dragonstone. So dragons can only bond with one person at a time, and can only be claimed by another rider once the previous one had left with a stranger, so to say. Therefore, we can infer that Laenor, who fled Westeros in Season 1, is now sadly dead due to some unknown reason, which would leave Seasmoke wanting and itching for another rider or a person to bond with. This led Seasmoke, who had been eyeing Addam ever since the earlier episodes, to actually fly to the poor unwitting bastard and make him a dragon rider for the Blacks, which he will accept gladly. But how is this possible? Let's take a dive into his lineage and family tree to sort this thing out. Alright, if we take a look at Addam's ancestral line, we must first know who his mother was. Although not named in the series yet, Addam and Alan's mother was called Marilda of Hull, whose last name wasn't mentioned, but Addam and his brother should have been named Waters due to the fact that they are bastards of Driftmark, and bastards there are given that surname, just as snow is given to the bastards of the north and sand to the bastards of dawn. Marilda in the books was the daughter of a shipwright, and with her wits as well as conviction and hard work, she later became a trader and a captain who eventually owned 7 ships, which her sons were serving on. She would also build the Mouse House after Lord Corlys' death, so as far as her ancestry is concerned, she doesn't really bear any royal bloodline, nor was she termed as a low-born bastard of a Targaryen. However, in the series, she might be of Valyrian descent. Maybe, but that is highly speculative and it might not be the case. Now, if we look at their father, it might be one of two people. Either Laenor Velaryon, the son of Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys, or the Sea Snake himself. In the books, it is highly implied that they are bastard sons of Laenor. Their mother Marilda claimed that he and his brother Alan were fathered by Sir Laenor Velaryon. However, it was later claimed that they were fathered by Lord Corlys Velaryon, but was kept unacknowledged in order to not offend Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. In the series, it was confirmed that the father was indeed the Seasmoke, Lord Corlys. But wait a minute, you might be confused here, right? If Laenor was the father, then that means Addam has Rhaenys' Targaryen blood in him. So that would of course explain why Seasmoke chose him to be his next rider and why he had the ability to bond with a dragon. But if Corlys was in fact the father, then Rhaenys' Targaryen blood isn't within Addam or Alan, and as we have detailed out earlier, only a person of Targaryen descent can claim a dragon owing to the ancient blood rituals their ancestors in Valyria carried out. But don't worry, we here will take a look at the lineage of Lord Corlys Velaryon and how he himself had dragon blood in his veins, but due to some unexplained reasons, he himself never claimed a dragon. Maybe there was no available ones at that time except for the wild or the unclaimed dragons, or he wasn't ready to risk it all. Anyway, Lord Corlys was the son of Corwin Velaryon, the Lord of the Tides and the head of House Velaryon during the reign of King Maegor I Targaryen and King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Corwin was the son of Daemon Velaryon, who served as the first master of ships to Aegon the Conqueror. He was in turn the son of Aethan Velaryon, who was Aegon the Conqueror's Lord Admiral during the Conquest. Now you still don't see any Targaryen blood, right? That's because we have to look into Aethan's wife to find it. His wife was a Targaryen who was later changed in Fire and Blood into Alara Massey, which might mean that Alara Massey's mother was in fact a Targaryen or a bastard of one. And that, guys, is how the blood of the dragons circulated into Daemon Velaryon, then into Corwin, and into Corlys, and then finally into Addam and Addam of Hull. Thus, Seasmoke choosing Addam as his new rider doesn't go outside of the blood pack of the ancient Valyrians and outside of the lore. But that's not the only reason. The fact that Seasmoke chose Addam was also because he was a very similar character to Laenor in terms of his attitude and humility. He was a kind and endearing person, but also bold and intrigued by the Grey Dragon. Seasmoke may be missing his old rider and wanted to bond with someone sharing a similar bloodline as well as having a similar persona. So that's all we have to say about this blood bond between dragon and a person of Targaryen descent. And so with that, we come to the end of the video. If you like this one, then watch this other one as well, and do check out our channel for other dragon content. We might just have things you haven't seen before. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.